What's up, guys? I am NC State SB, and Superfluke picked me out of a few people to send some of his new jigs to, and I told him I would make a video talking about my first impressions. His jig line is called Dragon Custom Tackle. He runs it out of Maryland, and he's probably one of the most, if not the most knowledgeable fisherman on here, so I really trust his opinion, and I just opened them, so we'll check them out real quick. Alright, so he sent me 4 jigs. 1 3/8 ounce, 1 1/2 ounce, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with my favorite one, and it is in a 1/2 ounce. It is a purple and black-ish, more of a June bug colored jig, and I think it's pretty sweet. I haven't really seen anything else like it. The 3/8 ounce is a sort of motor oil brown and purple, and then a more basic watermelon red. I don't know if y'all can see that really well, and a green pumpkin orange, and this is one color I really throw a lot. First I'll talk about the head shape and design, and I would say it's a combination of an arc style jig and a flipping jig. Has a really flat bottom, so you can skip it really well, but you're still going to be able to pitch into cover, and you can definitely cast it if you would like. The hook is really stout, but not so stout that you need to use braid to set the hook or anything, and it's also pretty big. I really like that. You're not really going to miss any fish. And the weed guard is thick enough that you're not going to get hung up in cover, but also thin enough that you're not going to have to trim it. And I never mentioned it, so the line tie is 45 degrees, and the bait keeper on it is the traditional style where you kind of thread it on, and you're not going to have anything move around on you on that. I really like all the colors he sent me, and he said he's going to be starting with more colors, and he's also going to be experimenting with different head designs, so keep a lookout for those in the future. But for now, this jig's really versatile, and all of these colors are really versatile and will catch fish almost anywhere in the country, and I'm really looking forward to trying them out. Over the next 4 weeks, I'll be fishing Lake Norman, Winyah Bay, and Kentucky Lake for tournaments, and we'll see how they do. Alright, so I started a thread about people wanting to know jig tips, wanting to know how to fish jig. So I'm going to run over some stuff real quick, and I'll start with my rod setup for jigs. I have a few, but this is the most commonly used one by me. It is a Corrado I-Series, the 200, 7-2-1. I would like faster if they would make it. Use the fastest combo you can get. And the rod, it's a heavy fast. It's a JB Custom Rods Frog and Rat. It's really unique. I can make another video on it if anyone would like to see it. I love these rods. It's all I use. And the line is 15-pound Sunline Sniper. It's fluorocarbon. I only use fluorocarbon for jigs, and I will go higher if the cover calls for it. Some of y'all asked, do you need to use a trailer? Yes, I use a trailer for everything, and I use 3, maybe 4 types of trailers, and I'll get through them really quick, from slowest, deadest action to most action. The most dead action is the basic chunk. It's going to slow your fall down a lot. Use it in cold water when the fish are not active. The next one, it's a twin tail grub. Is going to have a lot more action. It's going to kind of flutter and swim down to the bottom. It's also going to fall pretty quick because it's not too heavy. And lastly, I use cross-style trailers like this Zoom UV worm, or not UV worm, speed crawl, and they have the UV worm tails, and those are really sweet. It's a different little kicking action, and use that when the fish are very active. Let your jigs fall on a free spool, because if you let them fall on tight line, they're going to pendulum back to you, and if you let them fall on slack line, you're not going to be able to feel your jig. That brings up the next point, how to not get hung and how to know when you're getting a bite. Let it fall on pretty tight free spool line, but know what it's hitting. Know what the bottom feels like, know what a stick feels like, know what a rock feels like, and you won't be setting the hook onto random sticks. And if you feel something different, you know it's fish, and you can set the hook on it. A lot of you guys asked, like, can you fish a jig in, like, thick weeds? Can I fish it in a pond with soft bottom? Yeah, you can, but don't fish a jig in the traditional style. You're going to want to swim it, and a swim jig has a thinner profile head. It's a little lighter, and you can use 2 kinds of trailers on that. The first is a paddle tail style swim bait, like a Little Dipper, Big Dipper, or a grass pig. The second I would use is a twin tail grub. That's a really sweet action. and they come through grass a lot better. You can swim across grass or swim it over the top of soft bottom. And people that are worried about soft bottom, find hard bottom to throw a jig in a pond filled with soft bottom, and you'll find fish. While I'm talking about different styles of jigs, like swim jig, I'm going to go ahead and mention a football jig. I would use a football jig to fish something like a deep rock pile or a ledge, and you were going to drag that like you would drag a Carolina rig, and you're going to want to rig that with a crawl style trailer, something with a little bit of action. And you throw that in about a 3/4 ounce, and he should have one coming out. He's a big football jig guy, so be on the lookout for it. Fish jig instead of a Texas rig if you want a bigger profile, and if you're in dirtier water, it's going to have more action. And on the case of dirtier water, I use a rattle. In dirty water only, and I really don't like using one. I also wanted to mention, if you're trying to find that kicker fish and catch bigger fish, I would definitely throw a jig over a Texas rig, because I don't know why, but a jig usually seems to trigger much bigger bites from bigger fish, even though you can still catch small fish on it. When you're fishing a jig, a lot of people asked, can you fish it from the bank, and how? Just fish it like you would from a boat, target cover, pitch into cover, get in deep cover. You can do the same thing from the bank, and if not, if you're casting a pond that doesn't look like it can have cover, use it as a search bait and just hop it back like you would a Texas rig. What dictates how you fish your jigs is mainly dependent on the fish. If they're active, you want to fish with a more active style retrieve, a lot of hops, fish it quick. If they're not active, they're being really lethargic, it's cold front, it's cold, you want to fish it really slow, fish it with a chunk trailer to make it fall really slow, and fish very, very close to cover. Last 2 tips I'll give. First, keep it simple. You don't need 10 different jig colors. You can get by with something like this: watermelon red in clear water, this June bug in dirty water, and this green pumpkin orange in cases where you know there's orange on the crawfish or there's bluegill. Lastly, you can throw a white jig when you're bed fishing just because you can see it. Second, if you're trying to learn how to fish a jig, don't take anything but a jig out, because if you do, you'll give up and start throwing something else, and you really aren't going to learn like that. How I learned was literally take 2 jig rods, and that's it. And I've gotten very comfortable with them just because I had to learn how to catch fish on them or not catch anything. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.